Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Cold Case Christmas 2025. This case takes us to Bowmanville in Ontario, Canada, and all the way back to 1963, when a little girl, just 13 years of age, was abducted as she made her way home from her friend's house. A horrible case that is over 60 years old. And it's very unusual to be able to glance at newspaper cuttings from a case so old, unless you go digging in archives in some dusty library somewhere. But in this case, we have them available. This is the abduction of Noreen Greenley. "13-year-old Noreen Greenley disappeared on the evening of September 14th, 1963. I'm reading this from a blog that has been written on behalf of Noreen's family. I don't know how old this blog is, but it's a fascinating resource. The evening of her disappearance, Noreen Greenley was bowling at the Liberty Bowl on Baseline Road in Bowmanville with her friend Bonnie Wilkins and Bonnie's boyfriend Gary Woolner. After bowling, they went to Sam's restaurant and then on to Bonnie's house at the corner of Waverley Road and King Street, Highway 2, now Old King Street, since Highway 2 was later rerouted north. So this is Bowmanville here. Waverley Road is here. And then this is the highway, which is now called King Street West. And the railway line, which comes relevant in a little while, and then this is King Hill Lane. So it's in this vicinity. This is where Bonnie's house was. Bonnie reported to police and the newspapers that she and Gary wanted to spend time alone. So Noreen left to catch the 11:30 p.m. westbound bus for home at the stop across the street, again at the corner of Waverley Road and King Street, going west and around here. 11:30 p.m, doesn't that sound late for a 13-year-old girl? We'd think that was late to be out on her own these days, wouldn't we? But 1963, they were altogether different times. But that doesn't mean to say that monsters weren't on the prowl. They absolutely were, and one was on the prowl that very night. It's just that people didn't talk about it as much as they do these days. After waiting a short time, Noreen returned to the Wilkins house, spoke more with Bonnie before leaving again to catch the bus. She didn't catch the bus and was never seen again after leaving Bonnie's house that second time. But there are clues. A Ford Prefect, or some kind of Renault, was reported by a neighbour in the vicinity of the bus stop around the same time, occupied by a man in a fedora. Noreen's sister Joyce encountered the same vehicle around the same time that night on Holt Road near the Greenleys family home, speeding by her and a friend. So that's Highway 2 and Holt Road is here. So I don't know how far up Holt Road Noreen lived. Holt Road goes up and away. So Joyce saw the same car as a neighbour who was in this vicinity around the time that Noreen was waiting for her bus. What is scary is the two reported hearing a scream from the car, suspected now, in hindsight, to have been Noreen. But Joyce went home and told her dad that there was someone screaming in a car, and Noreen's dad and her brother went out to see if they could follow the car, but they couldn't locate it. It was long gone. They were unaware at the time that it could have been Noreen inside. A massive search took place in the days following Noreen's disappearance, which turned up no trace of her. And up to and above 400 searchers combed the area in the week after Noreen was abducted and found absolutely nothing. And this is a little clip here. An extensive search was still being conducted today by a large number of volunteers and police for Noreen Ann Greenley, aged 13, daughter of Mr. and Mrs. J. Harvey Greenley from Maple Grove, who has been missing since Saturday evening. The young girl has been bowling in Bowmanville, as we know. Okay, the Greenley family has never lost hope that they would one day learn the truth about what happened to Noreen. Durham Regional Police continues to list the case as open, but long since cold. Before we look at some newspaper clips, if you have any information relating to this case, now this is a long shot because of so many years has gone by, but you never know. Durham Regional Police, their number is 1888 579 1520, or you can contact Crime Stoppers anonymously at 1-800-222-TIPS, which is 8477. This newspaper clip archive is absolutely fascinating because not only does it contain information about Noreen's disappearance, but there's also clips that her parents have saved about Noreen's achievements. And this is from August 27th, 1959. So Noreen would have been 9 years old, and these were the local athletic results, including Noreen's swimming test. So Noreen's listed here. This is the bus schedule that was active at the time of Noreen's disappearance. So the bus that Noreen would have caught is the 11:35. So Noreen would have been abducted in maybe 5 minutes of leaving Bonnie's house and waiting for the bus. I would imagine as they went in the right direction to Noreen's house, if indeed Noreen was the little girl screaming from the Ford Prefect or Renault that screeched by Joyce, the abductor had said, "Look, I'll take you home, I'm going that way." And that places it on Holt Road. And the screaming is when Noreen realises that the abductor isn't taking her home. Maybe she even sees Joyce. Can you imagine that? Maybe she even sees Joyce and she's screaming to her. I think these details we will never know, but it's terrifying. So this is about music, the evening of music enjoyed at St Paul's. And again, Noreen is here. This is from the Canadian Statesman, December 20th, 1961. Just a couple of years before Noreen goes missing. Noreen in the Bowmanville Public Schools choir. And then that's Noreen there. Youngsters capture provincial softball title. And just imagine her parents saving these because they're proud of Noreen, and then how poignant they become once she's gone. Town presents trophies to Championship Girls Ball Team. So less than a year now before Noreen goes missing. Again, the Canadian Statesman, Noreen softball team's awards ceremony. Let me see if I can spot Noreen. That might be her. Front row. Yeah, third in. And then this one, just 10 days before Noreen went missing. And this is a report of Noreen visiting a local family. 10 days. The Greenley family's life was upended, and Noreen's life was lightly ended. Big search organised for Maple Grove girl. So a plane was used. They brought out all the big guns. This is the Oshawa Times. More than 300 industrial workers joined the search yesterday for Noreen. People were arranging their own searches, aided by 2 aircraft, September 17th. This one we've already seen. 400 searchers comb the area for missing 13-year-old girl. Truckload of searchers returned for new assignment. There they are poring over maps. Again another one, 400 searchers. 5 feet 2 inches tall, weighs about 100 pounds, short brown hair worn with bangs over her forehead. She was wearing a white blouse, orange sweater, black jeans, white socks and black running shoes. It was reported that she may also have been wearing a 3/4 length imitation leather coat. Yesterday between 300 and 400 people took part in the search for Noreen. The crowd covered the entire area north of Highway 401 to the 3rd concession of Darlington, including the entire town of Bowmanville. Also between Martin Road and Maple Grove, as well as north on Martin Road. Charles Staton, chief of the Duplet of Canada Limited Police, where her father is employed, organised the search. He expressed special appreciation to the Bowmanville police. A shift from the Goodyear plant, so an entire shift went out. I wonder whether that was on the works dime. Both Christian Reformed Church Street for the use of its large parking lot as an assembly area for the search party. So that's September 18th. So again, there's another one about the search. September 18th. This is interesting, right? This is the kind of detail that just gets lost to time. But I'm fascinated by this because Bloodhounds tracked Noreen for a little way. Bloodhounds traced the path of Noreen and Greenley for a short distance yesterday, but then lost the scent. Their trainer, Bert Bruce of Toronto, said the dogs picked up the trail of the girl at the spot where she's believed to have waited for the bus on Saturday night. The dogs followed a track, maybe, northbound from the point to a field and then suddenly disappeared near the railway tracks. So going northbound and then lost it around the railroad tracks. So that was September 20th. Dogs were there the 19th, so that's 5 days. It's possible that they've picked up residual scent that has come from the abduction itself, or perhaps the abductor walked with Noreen a little way. It was feared earlier in the day that the dog's tracking ability would be impaired by the heavy rain that fell on the area. Mr. Bruce said he would bring the dogs back down on Saturday, when a massive search has been organised by employees of General Motors and Goodyear Tire and Rubber, along with private citizens, students and Boy Scouts. The rain, which deterred the use of bloodhounds, also toned down maybe the search, because only a small number combed the area yesterday. It also drained a pond. These are an invaluable resource. So much information. So that was the draining of the pond. A mammoth search is being arranged for Saturday, September 21st. This will be a week, to scour the area north and west of Bowmanville for any clues of the missing Greenley girl. The search has been in progress since her disappearance last Saturday night, and now these tired, bone-weary members from Duplet and Dunlop need your help. Those joining in the search are requested to wear suitable clothing for inclement weather and rough terrain. Harvey Greenley, father of the missing girl, has been a member of Local 222 for 20 years, 6 in GM and 4 in Duplet. We plan to meet the dispatch from these 2 locations on Saturday. So here are the bloodhounds back. You can just about make out the dog's back leg there. This is September 22nd. Bert Bruce of Toronto uses a shoe owned by Noreen, who disappeared 8 days ago, to give bloodhounds the scent. The dogs picked up Noreen's trail at the bus stop, but later lost it. Almost, I don't know whether that's 600 or 800 persons joined in the search in the Bowmanville area over the weekend, aided by the bloodhounds, 5 aircraft and a helicopter. No trace of the girl was found. Searchers admit efforts failure. No, it wasn't a failure of effort. I suspect Noreen was long gone. John Lindsay, who came from Ottawa, all the way from Ottawa, with a specially trained dog to help in the search for missing 13-year-old Noreen Greenley, has a problem. The dog's collar was misplaced and has not been located. It was presented to the dog by the Governor-General for its outstanding service. The collar has an extra special sentimental value. I hope they found the collar. Mother prays that Noreen is alive. September 29th. $1,000 reward. All came to naught. No trace. Absolutely no trace. Anyway, I'll leave a link to this blog in the description box so you can dig into all of these clips yourself, because it's fascinating but just so sad. So sad, especially seeing Noreen happy in the years, months, and then only 10 days before she went missing. So sad. So if anybody has got any information about Noreen, please contact the police. That's it for this case. I'll see you tomorrow in the next episode of Cold Case Christmas. Bye, guys.